There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. Oh, there is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. And I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. Oh yeah, yeah. 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 Oh yeah, yeah.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Boulder, Colorado. March is just about to leave us, and I really thought about doing something about lions and lambs, but I decided instead that this march came in more like a gnat, and it's going out like a gnat, but we'll all remember that big GNU that was in the middle. Hello, my name is Fred Cole, and I'll be the worship leader for this morning's service. We welcome all to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Boulder. If you're a new visitor, please email our office manager, Amy Zinn, and let us know how you found us. You'll find her email in the Zoom chat box. This past week has sorely tried my senses of hope and of optimism. However, as I've thought about it, I keep returning to the words from an old Greek proverb. Old men plant trees whose shade they shall never share. This is a truly profound statement about the need for maintaining our hopes and our optimism. Old men plant trees whose shade they shall never share. Now, please ensure that your microphones remain muted as we join together for this time of worship.
Good morning, my friends. It is an honor to be with you this morning. I share with you these words by Rebecca Edmonston Lang. Come into this place which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all your vulnerabilities and your strengths, your fears and anxieties, your loves and hopes. For here you need not hide, nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are called to be. Come in to this place where we can touch and be touched by each other's words, heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, and compassion is expected. Come into this place, my friends, for together we make it a holy place. Let us worship together.
Share some of your feelings with me.
If you have a personal chalice or candle near your computer, please get ready to light it. We invite you to type into the chat box where your chalice is being lit, the street or neighborhood, or in what city if you're joining us from outside Boulder County. It is now my pleasure to call upon our board president, Chris Zanoni, and our president-elect, Jim Rao, who will light this morning's chalice.
Good morning. What a wild ride the first 9 months of this church year have been. Did anyone have worldwide pandemic on their 2020 bingo card? Did you know who Dr. Anthony Fauci was this time last year? We've added new terms to our lexicon, such as social distancing and flattening the curve. Reverend Jeremy introduced the concept of Ashe in his blessings and sermons. Ashe is a word from the Yoruba people of Western Africa. Ashe is defined as the power to make things happen and produce change, the energy found in all things, a powerful life force possessed by humans and divine beings alike. Ashe is alive and well at UUCB this year as we continue moving forward together during these challenging times. We are so blessed to have our amazing ministers and staff members. Our fabulous worship team continues to share their talents to deliver our Sunday services. Our awesome ministerial search committee is heading for the home stretch to bring us a new settled minister candidate in early May. Our outstanding Pledge Drive committee and stewards, supported by the Stewardship Council, are all hard at work on this year's Pledge Drive. Also hard at work are our friends on the Finance Council, Endowment Committee, Buildings and Grounds, Caring Committee, Leadership Development Committee, Sanctuary Now, Connections Ministry, COVID-19 Task Force, Climate Action Ministry, and the many other committees and teams and unsung heroes who are helping us to move forward together. Just wow. It's such a pleasure and honor to work with our Board of Trustees, a truly dedicated, talented, and energetic team. This year, we've been focusing on our strategic priorities and keeping things moving forward in preparation for emerging safely from the pandemic, along with our new settled minister. We're planning for an August opening date for the new preschool joining our UUCB community. All of this is being done virtually. Together, we're learning the finer points of Zoom, and we've adjusted to our Brady Bunch configurations on the computer screen. We're mastering the art of Google Docs for meetings and church work. So many things in motion, moving forward together. We're grateful that you care so deeply about the work we're all doing together to live our mission. As a beacon of liberal religion, we connect bravely, deepen spiritually, embody justice, always love. Thank you for your generous commitment to UUCB's future. Ashe. Jim Rao will be taking the helm as Board of Trustees President for our new church year starting in July. Jim?
Thank you, Chris. This coming year will indeed be an exciting year full of transition, and I'm looking forward to experiencing it with you. In a few short days, our exceptional search committee will be culminating their discernment and selecting our next settled minister. If all goes well, by the end of April, in 30 short days, we will meet that candidate and have a special congregational meeting on May 2nd, where we'll vote to call that candidate as our new minister. This year, we will also transition back to being able to share our space and once again enjoy the warmth of physical proximity. How we return to an in-person service while continuing a virtual presence that includes our many remote friends and members will be a challenge that the Worship Ministry Board and new minister look forward to tackling. But looking at this last week, as horrific as Monday's shootings were, I have been struck also by the outpouring of love and strength of the bonds in our community. Whitney and I attended a vigil in front of the Boulder County Courthouse. We watched the Moms Demand Action vigil online. And yesterday stopped by the memorial along the fence at King Soopers, where there were literally thousands of flowers, poems, notes, and pictures. We were among hundreds of people expressing their grief, sadness, and frustration at the senseless loss of life. And it was clear to me that there are many thousands of people in this community that share many or most, if not all, of our UU values. However, as a beacon for liberal religious, for our liberal religion, I feel that our light is far too small and our reach is too short. Which brings me to the culmination of our pledge drive, which we're in, trying to finish up by today. And considering our times, our congregation has done an amazing job to pledge $335,000 towards our next fiscal year, and I thank you for that. However, that still leaves us $45,000 short of our target, and we've yet to hear from over 35 past pledgers. Financial support is critical. It's a critical part of powering our beacon, critical for attracting and paying for talented ministers that will lead us in fulfilling our mission, critical for funding our committees and ministries that let us deepen spiritually and embody justice, critical for supporting our infrastructure that, whether virtually or in person, allows us to express our immense capacity to always love and connect bravely with each other, the community, and the world. So if you've not yet pledged, please do so today. If your finances allow you to, pledge more. As Reverend Jeremy said a couple of weeks ago, give until it feels good. So in honor of UUCB's amazing mission, the work we have done and the work we still have yet to do, our talented children will now help us power a virtual beacon inside their loving heart world inside of Minecraft. So please welcome Brynja Helgadottir, Eleanor and Williams Billingsley as they light our virtual chalice. Thank you guys, very well done.
Our chalices are now lit. We invite all those gathered, wherever you are, to join together in fellowship and community as we say aloud our congregation's covenant. We gather in
Fellowship to speak truth to each other, to reach out and touch one another, to care with each other, and to seek the truth divine. So be it.
Well, it's been quite a difficult week for all of us. So I would like to invite us all to just settle into our breath. Take a moment to care for one another, to care for ourselves, and to honor whatever we're feeling right now, whatever is going on for ourselves right now. Just breathing in and breathing out. I want to remind everyone that by joining this service, just by being here, you are a part of this community. And this community holds each and everyone here and the wider Boulder community with love and with care. We come here for many reasons, but especially to show up for each other. For relationships are a sacred part of who we are. So I hope you are feeling loved and held, and I hope that you are also feeling the love flowing from you to everyone else in our community. And during this time, let us begin by holding all those who are impacted the most deeply from the mass shooting in our thoughts and in our hearts, and sending them love. And in the chat, I am pasting all the names of those who died in the shooting. May we remember them. May we remember them always. Let us take a few moments of silence to allow our hearts to open to the magnitude of the impact of this shooting. Continuing to focus on the breath, breathing in, breathing out. It is easy to want to push the feelings away because they are not what we want. But let them be real. Let them rise up in your heart, as we also hold all who live close by, all who were at the store of King Soopers, all who shop at King Soopers, and all who are feeling more vulnerable today. We hold you all with love. I invite you to post into the chat those who are particularly on your hearts and minds. And please help me in giving thanks for all the first responders, the healers, the helpers, the servers. Please post into the chat all who have eased the pain of others as well. I talked with someone who in his job was listening to all of the police department responses, and how hard it was to hear that. Thank you, Bonnie, for posting love to all the families of the victims and the Boulder Police Department. And I'm going to hold my chalice candle close, because what we are creating here and what we are saying in the chat is the light that we are holding for those feeling the darkness, caught up in the evil that has occurred, in the violence. May we also hold our leaders and our politicians for they will be hearing from us over and over again until change happens. And giving thanks to all those leaders and politicians who are dedicated to bringing the change that is needed. And as life continues to happen, many joys and sorrows also arise in our lives unrelated to this moment. Feel free to post in the chat anything around joys and concerns that you would like to share, and I will read them. Leslie Bennett says, sending love and light to all the victims and families. And Amy, employees of King Soopers, families and friends of the victims, all of the police and first responder heroes who saved lives that day. And some died as they were saving the lives of others. I'd like to read the names of each one of the victims. Trelana Bartakowiak, Suzanne Fountain, Terry Leiker, Kevin Mahoney, Lynn Murray, Ricky Olds, Nevin Stanisic, Denny Stong, and Officer Eric Talley, and Jody Waters. Throughout the week, you have probably joined me in learning about each of these people, making it more real. Henry and Ellen say, including in my thoughts all of the workers of supermarkets everywhere who now go to work, and shoppers each day with security guards. Our world will never be the same after this, and it would be a travesty if we allowed it to be the same. We have all lost. And we are all here for each other as we begin to find our way to move forward. For all of these blessings and concerns, as well as all that remains silent on our hearts, we hold love and compassion for each other. Thank you for all of the ways that you bless this community, all those in your lives, and the wider Boulder community. May it be so. Amen. And as we continue this spirit of meditation, I invite you to settle into your seats for a brief meditation as I ring the bell. Breathing in We know that we are breathing in, breathing out. I know that I am breathing out. Breathing in the air that is still with us, the gift of life with every breath. For the earth has known travesty and tragedy before, and it continues to hold us through it all. Feel your connection to life, to the earth, to the sun, to the cosmos, with every breath. We are here to grieve. We are here to begin anew. We are here to comfort each other. Breathe in all the connections to everyone in this meeting, to everyone mentioned in the chat, to all who have lost loved ones in mass shootings, to all whose hearts are broken. For we find hope in our connection to each other and all of life. We find hope in our outrage to not tolerate the intolerable anymore. We find hope in feeling alive, in coming together and bringing change, much needed change. We find hope in the heartbreak, for it brings us together. And we find meaning in our commitment to join together. May the love that we share heal the suffering in this moment and in the world. And may we work to change that which we can no longer allow to happen. May it be so because we make it so. Amen.
For our reading this morning, we turn to the words of Václav Havel, a Czech writer and dissident who was imprisoned by the communist government and who would lead the famed Velvet Revolution, resulting in the fall of communism in Czechoslovakia. He would go on to become the first president of the new Czech Republic. His words: "Hope is a state of mind, not of the world. Either we have hope or we don't. It is a dimension of the soul, and it's not essentially dependent on some particular observation of the world or estimate of the situation. Hope is not a prognostication. It is an orientation of the spirit, an orientation of the heart. It transcends the world and is immediately experienced and is anchored somewhere beyond its horizons. Hope, in this deep and powerful sense, is not the same as joy. Excuse me. is not the same as a joy that things are going well, or a willingness to invest in enterprises that are obviously headed for success. But it is rather an ability to work for something because it is good, not just because it stands a chance of succeeding. The more propitious the situation in which we demonstrate hope, the deeper that hope is. Hope is definitely not the same thing as optimism. Hope is not the conviction that something will turn out well, but the certainty that something makes sense, regardless of how it turns out.
Thank you, Fred. I think today, now more than ever, oh, I'm jumping ahead. We actually have a beautiful song that I do not want to miss. The song is I Know I Can. Could we please hear that? Thank you. I know I can go on. Honestly, I think I can go on if I know you can go on. I think today, now more than ever, I wish we could be in the same space together. For today, it's not Sunday regular business as usual. To ignore or push aside the violence of the shooting at King Soopers would be to dishonor the people who died and all of the pain and suffering so many are feeling, including you. I've been in conversation with many of you this past week, and I've heard deep emotions of grief, deep emotions of anger, and even rage. I too have felt this. And many have expressed dismay at their own feelings of nothing, of numbness, of, oh, it's just another shooting. Some have asked, how do we make sense of this? This is a completely senseless act that took 10 innocent lives from the planet and shattered countless other lives. For what? Many of you have mentioned how wrong it is for this to feel normal. I understand. I have those feelings too. And to feel a numbness about it and a desire to get on with life. And yet underneath it all, and on the top surface for some, it feels like a building of drums rising and rumbling to the surface of pure emotion of we cannot tolerate this any longer. This must change. For my entire life, I have lived in Colorado for my entire life. I'm actually 5th generation Coloradoan. That's how we say it back in the old days, Coloradoan, not Coloradan. Anyhow, there's always been a mystique around Boulder. It is a unique city characterized by being forward-thinking, always on the cutting edge, almost always on the right side of my sensibilities and my values. I know it has changed over the years and it has had its challenges and will continue. But I've always seen Boulder as a highly enlightened city, showing the way to a better future for the rest of the country. And yet on Tuesday, that perspective was shattered as we too became Anytown, USA. But you see, I don't think that's really quite true, because what defines this church community and the wider Boulder community is not this tragedy, but how we respond to it. And as one of our members, Janelle Freeston, was saying to me, I'm paraphrasing, if any community can find the solution or the solutions that we need to heal this, it is Boulder. And I think she's right. After listening to City Council's special meeting a few days ago, I am deeply heartened by their response. It was beautiful. I've never in my life witnessed a City Council meeting that was so thoughtful, compassionate, determined, honest, and heartfelt. It was over 4 hours long, but you can watch it on YouTube if you feel like it. So, we know that going back to business as usual, as tempting as it may be, as much as we have done it from all of the other mass shootings, as much as it pulls us in, it just doesn't feel right. Because change doesn't happen when we go back to business as usual. So, how can we not let go? I'm sorry I didn't catch the person's name, but someone who's from the NAACP spoke at the City Council meeting, and she said something beautiful. She said, stay with the sting. Stay with the sting. Don't let go of the grief. As Governor Polis said, don't give in to being desensitized. I have been, I think like many of you and like Jim, like you had mentioned in your chalice lighting, watching countless hours on YouTube of vigils and interviews and coverage. And I need that because I need to feel and stay connected to the grief. I think we all do. And you see, staying with the grief is also how we honor the lives that have been lost. And they deserve that. They deserve for us to honor them through our grief, through our heartbreak, by getting in touch with the travesty of it. These people's lives have worth beyond any monetary value. So let's go ahead and include all of the others that have died in mass shootings, for their lives are priceless as well. And let's add to that list all of the victims that have died from the pandemic that were not necessary. Too much needless death and suffering. And we've had it. That we this is it. We cannot allow it to go on. How many of you have completely fed up with it? Like, that's it. It's okay. You can wave to me. I'm looking at you all. Yeah. We've all lost a part of ourselves with this. Because, you see, we cannot be wholehearted people and with integrity continue to tolerate that which is intolerable. It's incompatible. We either lose our wholeheartedness and become less human, or we have to choose to do the hard work of engaging with changing this reality. That is our only choices right now. That's where we are. So I come back to the words of Václav Havel. This quote has been with me all week long. And thank you, Fred, for sharing it earlier. Hope is not the conviction that something will turn out well. It is the certainty that something is worth doing no matter how it turns out. So when you start telling yourself nothing is ever going to change, that takes all of us down a path of hopelessness. We don't have the luxury of hopelessness, my friends. And that is not what matters. What matters is that it is worth doing. It is an ability to work for something because it is good, Václav Havel says, not just because it stands a chance of succeeding. Forget the outcome. Let's get busy and bring change. And as we heard in the city council meeting, which is not often the case, your number one allies in this work are your city council people and your governor and Joe Neguse and all of your other politicians. You've elected the right people. Let's work with them to bring the change. It is in the broken heart. I keep coming back to my own broken heart. You see, I know it's too easy to not feel, to have that stiff upper lip. We've all been trained to shut down our emotions, many of us have. And we lose our own life. We become less alive. So I invite you to stay with your broken heart. Invite it in. Feel it. Let it grow. I know you probably came here expecting me to give you lots of comfort and to say all these things to help you feel better, right? And here I am telling you to feel your broken heart. But my friends, that is how we will feel better. For we find the most profound meaning in the broken heart. We find our truest connection to each other, and we find our purpose in a broken heart. And this is what this moment is calling for from us. So be broken open and let these lives deserve the grief that we have to give. And as we honor them with our grief, that grief transforms us. It prepares us by shaking us to our very core to do the work that must be done in the way that it must be done. There is strength in those tears that cannot be found without them. And we need the strength from all of us. Not to fight, but to heal this broken world, and to remember this grief always. So what can we do? Yes, I appreciated someone's comment to me. Dana, I don't want to hear about your prayers and condolences or with the families. That's not enough. That's not enough. And what I told that person, and I completely agree, you are right. It is not enough. It never has been enough. In Unitarian Universalism, one of the things I love about Unitarian Universalism, whether we believe in deities and gods or not, we know that the power is in our hands to make the changes that need to happen. We know that it is up to us to affect change, and we don't sit around and wait for a magical power to come by or not. It's not that I don't believe in the power of prayer, I actually do. But this is our work to do, my friends. Let us not allow it to go away. Now, really, I was supposed to be talking about stewardship this week. And there are many ways to think about stewardship and why we support the church. One could think of it as a consumer model. How much bang for the buck do you get, and is it worth it? That's on the model of what do you get out of it. But see, that is not the true understanding of the relationship of this community. One could see it as their duty to contribute to help everyone else, but that too is missing the relationship. Honestly, the experience of this week demonstrates the power of this beloved community. If you feel like it, I invite you to switch over to Gallery View and see everyone who is joining us today. This is your beloved community right now. And we know many, many others are part of this beloved community. We have bonds with them. We share this heartache together. And by sharing this heartache, it is more bearable. What value do you have for a place where you can put things in perspective, learn from each other, and grow your own hearts in relationship with each other? That is what this community does. And this community affects change, not only within ourselves, but in the world. For we collaborate with others, other organizations, and make a meaningful difference. I enjoyed, it was fun having the kids light their chalice in Minecraft today. I hope you enjoyed that. And in the background, you probably couldn't see it, but there was a heart built into the wall. And that is because this is the Church of the Loving Heart. And there was a question mark built into the side of the mountain. And that was because this is the Church of the Open Mind. And we had hands coming out the side of the mountain because this is the church of the helping hands. But not just because we say so. It is these things because we make it so. Through our shared values and our relationships. And that is the worth of this community. That is the worth of this church. This is our spiritual home. How would this week have been without this community being with you? That is why we give to this church. It is a place where we come to grow our hearts. And this whole church thing that we do, it generates hope. Going back to Havel's quote, it is the certainty that something is worth doing no matter how it turns out. Doing together. We are a beacon of light, and it will become brighter and brighter as we come together. Now, I just want to say, if you're holding out to see who our new senior minister will be, I know the feeling. And as wonderful as I know this person will be, they are not the heart and soul and purpose of this church. You are. And we need each other, and Boulder and the world needs us now. So now's the time, my friends, to take our courageous love into the world and bring the change that must be. So please support us in every way you can, and let's make a new reality so. Amen. Ashe. May it be so.
As a religious community, we seek to become more generous in both spirit and action. This is the common calling for all of the world's faith traditions. Our Share the Plate partner during the month of March has been Intercambio Uniting Communities. Here are a few words from the director of Intercambio, Les Shanis.
Hello, Unitarian Universalist. Lee Shanis here, Director of Intercambio. This last year has been intense and challenging, and I wanted to share with you a few silver linings that have come up for us and some new doors that are opening that we had never imagined opening before to connect people across cultures and have conversations and relationships with each other in ways that have never been done before. So one of those projects that I want to share with you is called Conversations on Race. And this came about because we've done a lot of community conversations in our community where we link community volunteers and English learners, and they have these magical connections, and it's very simple. And we're adding a little bit of challenge to it, and including a topic around, the racial reckoning that I know a lot of you have been talking about this past year. And we're going to have these conversations with English learners, community volunteers, and focus on race and equity and justice. And we have an exciting national collaboration happening with an organization that has done large gatherings where it's very engaging for both sides. And we really want people talking and sharing their perspectives and learning about history and race and those things. And so we're excited to get that going amongst other projects. And we're still doing a lot of very important work locally. And we appreciate your support and your involvement, and hope to see you soon at one of our events.
You can make a donation now by using the link posted in our chat, or by sending a check directly to UUCB, or scan the QR code, which has just appeared on the screen. Please be as generous as you can. We will now receive the offering. By funding our church and our nonprofit partners, we create connections, relationships, and a sense of belonging within the community. Your generosity is appreciated. Thank you.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from creed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from creed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. Oh, my friends, that makes me feel like we're back in our building at the close of a service. Maybe since I just got my shot yesterday, I'm in anticipation. So, I think we need to hold hands. I need to hold hands with you. If you want to hold your hands up and join me. And if you think you feel stupid, it's okay. We're all doing it. It doesn't matter. It's so wonderful to see your hands and to be joining you. For we are holding each other and we are here for each other. I share with you these words by John Morgan, which touch me deeply. In the end, it won't matter how much we have, but how generously we have given. It won't matter how much we know, but rather how well we live. And it won't matter how much we believe, but how deeply we love. I invite you to put your hands on your heart and feel that love and feel that broken heart that we are keeping alive. For all who have died and for all who have suffered and each other and for how we are going to rebuild this world. May it be so. Amen. I love you.
Go your way in peace, wander as you may. Blessed is the path you take, may love guide you on your way. Go your way in peace, wander as you may. Blessed is the path you take, may love guide you on your way.
Barbara Richards will be joining me in just a moment as we will now put on our greeters hats, but we invite you to stay with us now for a time of online fellowship and conversation. Our Zoom host is right now preparing some chat rooms for the smaller groups, and this usually takes about a minute. But today in our Zoom lobby, the special focus will be a presentation from the UUCB archives about some of our history. Bob Evans and Nicole Ball will be presenting this special event. If you wish to attend, just skip the invitation to a chat room, which will be appearing shortly, and stay right here in the main room. And Barb and I will probably be doing a bit of table hopping while all this is going on. Have a great day and a great week. Goodbye, everybody.